All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the November meeting of the City of Binghamton Planning Commission. My name is Nick Corcoran. I'm currently the chairman of this commission, which is comprised with local community members tasked with reviewing site plans and special use permits for consistency with the standards and criteria set forth in the City of Binghamton Code. Based on our total number of planning commission members, 4 members must be present to constitute a quorum. Tonight, we do have more than 4 members, which means we do have a quorum and can proceed. First item on our agenda is roll call. Mario DeFulvio. Chris Judge Eats.
Here I am, rocky like a hurricane.
Nice. Kelly Weiss is going to be absent. Manny Priest.
Here.
Kyle Nedlick is here, walking down the stairs. And Tim Sesney.
Present.
All right. Second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from October. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about the October meeting minutes? And if not, is there a motion to approve? Motion by Tim to approve, seconded by Chris. All in favor? All right, that's 6 in favor, 0 opposed. All right, on to the next item on our agenda, which are seeker determinations. In this portion of our meeting, the Planning Commission will be reviewing documentation provided by applicants for the first time. Applicants will be called to the microphone where they will be asked to make a presentation describing their plans to the commission. Commission members may then ask questions of the applicant to clarify any items that are unclear. And after all questions have been answered, the commission will deliberate and then either set a public hearing date for the project or request additional information before proceeding. To all applicants that will be presenting tonight, we ask that you please state your name and address for our records before beginning your presentation. And we ask that any member of your team who will be speaking, please give their name and address for our public record. All right, tonight our first applicant is the Reagan Development Corp. Project address is 1 North Depot Street. And this is a site plan review and special use permit for the conversion of an existing industrial building into 50 dwelling units with 54 total bedrooms in the C1 Service Commercial District. Yes, the microphones are for the public record so that people on Zoom also can hear what you're saying. And if you just hit the button once, it should give you a green light. And then you do have to speak pretty close, almost put it right into your mouth.
Hi, my name is Matthew Rowe. I am with Keystone Associates, 58 Exchange Street. That's in Binghamton.
Hello, my name is AJ Coppola. I'm the project architect. My office is in Newburgh, New York.
All right, is that microphone, does it have a green light?
I'll say that again.
There you go.
Thank you. So my name is AJ Coppola. I'm the project architect. My office is in Newburgh, New York.
All right.
And my name is Larry Regan. I'm principal at Regan Development. We're the developers and owners, future owners of the site.
All right. All right, what are you guys thinking about doing?
We are here to present the building and site renovations for the 1 North Depot Street apartment complex. The plan is to renovate the building to have 3 studio apartments, 43 1-bedroom apartments, and 4 2-bedroom apartments. That is 54 bedrooms. The site plan shows parking to the north of 14 spaces and to the south of 20 spaces. And there's also additional landscaping and a 4-foot ornamental fence proposed as well. I'll turn it over to AJ now, talk about the interior.
Thank you. So we've been working on this project almost 2 years. So we've been in the in the building multiple times. I was inside the building today also. And basically, when we go through this process, we start with existing conditions, formulate what's there, and then basically create a set of plans that will support an historic rehab that we need to get approved through SHPO, the State Historic Preservation Office, and NPS, the National Park Service. Both of those approvals are critical for our historic tax credits. So those historic tax credits address the exterior and they also address the interior. So what both of those agencies are looking for is basically historic content. What's there, windows, doors, stairwells, that even trim and that type of thing. What's there and what we're proposing to do. So with this building, most of the historic content that you see is going to be from the exterior because the interior is not in very good condition. It's deteriorating. So we are still eligible for historic tax credits. That's been certified by both SHPO and NPS. So we have basically assigned part one. So now we're proceeding with what we call the part two, putting together the restoration plan. So just real quickly, I think we've submitted these drawings of the exterior. So what we're proposing on the exterior is basically like an in-kind restoration of the entire facade, which there are three principal facades. If you know the building, on the one side, it's basically a party wall to the adjacent building, which has already been it's in use right now. So basically on the exterior, what we're proposing is starting with the windows. We feel that SHPO and NPS will approve basically a window replacement. And that window replacement would be a wood window clad in aluminum. We have experience with this on other projects. And as long as we are filling the opening of these windows, you don't kind of order a stock size and frame the opening down. If you fill the opening, that's one of the things that they're looking for. So that's part of it. Obviously, the restoration and the rebuilding of the existing masonry walls, the brick walls, it's part of it. There's a fair amount of, there are some spots when there is some deterioration there. And then basically on the ground floor is a series of mostly doors that we're showing on the south elevation. Actually, on both south and north elevation. And then basically in-kind restoration of those doors in the windows. So at the top, you've got, a highly articulated cornice right at the top. And most of that is in good shape, although I think a little bit on the north side is actually the two sides are different. When you get to the top, there's more ornamentation on the south elevation. The north elevation is in worse shape, but it's kind of much less ornamented. So, but again, it's an in-kind restoration of what's there. The cornice, the coping, the fretwork, the corbels, all of that is in kind, all to be restored, replaced, and put back new. And then basically that's the idea on the exterior. The interior would be. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to do both. Oh, I can. Okay, thank you. So on the interior, it's basically, well, before we get to what we're putting inside, there's going to be a fair amount of structural work on the interior because there are collapsing floors, mostly in the rear of the building, which is more on the north elevation side. So on the front, as you walk in from the parking lot side, less deterioration in the back. Those floors are collapsing downward, and water is like water that's working over time is like a knife. It'll just cut through everything, and that's what's going on inside. So the floors are sagging, kind of front to back, and like I said, we started this in 2024, so about 2 years ago, or maybe 18 months ago. And there's a bit of a difference between when I started and when I was in the building today. So all of that has to be arrested. The deteriorated structural material has to come out and then again replaced in kind. But it's an all wood building, so you're basically replacing it with wood members of the same size, whether they're girders, joists, or the decking of the floors. So that's also in kind. And then eventually we'll look to create our 50 apartments, which this building is one portion of the building is 5 floors. There's kind of one portion here on the west side is 4 floors, and then that's a 5-story portion. But basically, there'll be all interior apartments, as was indicated before, 50 apartments total, studios 1s and 2s. So
All right.
happy to take any questions.
All right. Fantastic. Chris.
Yeah, I'm looking at the architectural plans. I guess it's page A5.
Yes.
You know where I'm going, huh? Okay. Okay, so towards the, I guess I call it the bottom of that, there is something labeled a common room,
Yes.
which to my eyes appears to have no interior access.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's a mistake. I actually have to I'm going to create a laundry room. We haven't created a laundry room yet. So I have to create the laundry room and then the access into into the room. So
Okay.
yes, that's on my list.
Besides the laundry room, which you're going to carve out of it,
Correct.
what else is planned for the common room?
Well, this is a room for the 50 apartments. It's not a room for the community. In other words, state subsidized housing will subsidize this project, but they're not looking to subsidize this for the community. So what is in there? Like I said, it's going to get smaller because of the laundry room that has to come out, and then it's basically a common room for use by the residents. So there'll be a TV in there, there'll be tables, and then Larry could probably speak to this more, but then they sometimes they'll have an agenda or like a schedule for different events that you do there. So am I answering your question?
Partially.
Okay.
So I'm gonna slide a look over to Tito. I know in a previous project over on Washington Street, there were concerns about a common room that was a party room that raised all sorts of concerns. What does the applicant need to do to make sure that they don't get in trouble with this becoming a party room?
So and as the owner and the management company of the building, that's also a concern that we have. So that room will be locked at all times, except when one of the residents or one of the tenants wants to use it, they'll go to the manager. There'll be an office for the manager on site, and they'll schedule a time to use that. If there's another use, that if someone wants to have a birthday party or some other community event there, they need to register with the manager, but that room is locked unless it is registered to be used by one of the tenants or one of the tenants' affiliated groups that want to come in and share for that use. So we do share your concern.
Okay.
And it's important because we want security to be kept up at the building as well.
That's fair. One last thing about the plans, staying on page A5. Am I seeing this correctly? The common room and some of the other bedrooms to the right of it, are those a whole bunch of like French doors that open outside? On the bottom of the plan there, I guess?
So they're exterior doors. So
Okay,
if you look at A10, which I think was part of our submission set,
okay,
you'll see those doors there. So my wife is the historic preservationist for this project. So she thought the doors were originally there. So that's part of our approval through SHPO and MPS. If they feel that's appropriate, then even though it doesn't really make a lot of sense plan wise, and sometimes these things don't make sense for the functioning of the building. But those two agencies are very particular about what's shown on the exterior and what the historic rationale for that is. So
Okay.
that's kind of the reasoning for that.
Tito,
Those could be fixed.
Just the,
Also, from a security point also, those doors could be recreated to show what was originally there, but they can be non-functioning doors. But we just
Okay.
need to put them in to get approval of the National Park Service and the Office of Historic Preservation in the state.
To answer your question from before, there are two things that they'd have to do to have a compliant common space. One is be above grade, which they are. And the other is it can't exceed a 25-person occupancy.
Well, this one would be more than 25 people. It typically has to be enough people for the number of bedrooms that we have. At least one per unit or plus the bedrooms.
So one option would be to partition it into spaces that don't exceed 25 occupancy of 25 people each.
Okay.
Project, we could make decide.
Well, maybe I'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
We could address that. It sounds like that's a workable
Yeah.
solution. Okay,
So we don't have to go by the.
okay.
Nick, one other question. You guys are doing all your SHPO things, and the national,
Park
registries.
Service.
Yeah. Are there also additional COD hurdles that you guys will have to reach? I'm looking at Tito, for their work on this. And if there are COD hurdles, have they been alerted to that? Not being an expert on COD.
What's the acronym?
COD is the Commission for Architecture and Urban Design with a question mark.
I mean, typically, we've done this before in other municipalities. We would go to them with our SHPO and MPS approval. Because that is a higher governmental authority and that's a deal breaker. We need that approval. And then we would go to that board usually with that approval in hand.
Okay.
So
I just want to make sure if that is one more checkbox you need from the city, I want to make sure that that's not
if you
forgotten in the shuffle.
If you have a signed part two, it's just they exempt you. I don't know.
So it is a local landmark, so any exterior modifications would be subject to COD review, but you could the SHPO submission would help expedite that.
Okay, yeah, so we would address that. And we're in that process right now.
Right.
All right. Tim,
Just confirming, you guys are gonna be replacing the windows with existing or same size windows, we're not squaring.
Exactly. If
Okay.
they're circle top, they're circle top. If they're square top, square top.
Okay,
Whatever the masonry opening is, we will fill it.
okay, thank you.
all right, there was one comment from the staff. They asked for the inclusion of a dumpster enclosure. Is that doable or?
yeah, I think that's doable.
All right.
Yep.
So, and was everybody?
Yeah.
Is everybody here was involved in the renovation of the other side of the building, or is this a new group? Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
Nothing to do with the other building that was done, nor the previous applications that come before this board from the existing ownership. The
Gotcha.
existing ownership is selling us the building as is, and we're starting over with a new design
Oh, okay.
because those units were very small. They
Gotcha.
had a rooftop addition and the units were so small that we didn't feel they would be rentable in the market to a moderate clientele that we're looking to rent to.
Okay, great. All right. Any other questions, concerns, comments? All right, and you guys are aware of the requirement for a variance because you don't have commercial space on the ground floor.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, then I'll make a motion that the proposal involves the reuse of an existing building for a permitted use, which is a type 2 action for seeker review, and that no further environmental review is required. Seconded by Chris, all in favor? All right, that's 6 in favor, 0 opposed. And I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for the project at our December meeting at 5:20. Seconded by Manny, all in favor? All right, 6 in favor, 0 opposed. All right, so we'll see you back in December for public meeting, public hearing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
What date in December is that?
Ooh, great question.
Second.
Thank you all very much.
December 2nd.
Thank you.
Yes, all right. All right, that'll take us to our second seeker determination tonight for the applicant Marchuska Productions LLC. Project address is 49 Court Street, and this is a site plan modification to construct an additional 4 parking spaces in an existing parking area in the C2 Downtown Business District. Hello, Justin.
Hello. Justin Marchuska, 49 Court Street, Binghamton, New York.
All right. What are you thinking about doing?
My brother and myself are the owners of 49 Court Street, otherwise known as the Metro Center. And several years ago, I imagine it was 3 or 4 years ago, we had attended a meeting and we were given permission to add, I believe, 8 parking spaces. Since then, we are getting kind of towards the end of renting the entire building out. We have 1 large space that overlooks Court Street that's still vacant. And we have a couple smaller spaces. And although the parking ramp is across the street, individuals still want some level of parking in the actual Metro Center parking lot. So at this point, we were looking to add 4 more spots to our parking lot. And just feel it may help with obtaining a tenant for that space, which is about 4,200 square feet that overlooks Court Street. And we have had some interest in parties, and we have freed up the lot some. There is an agreement that was in place before we owned it with several tenants for how many parking spots were allocated for each tenant. And essentially, when we bought it 7 or 8 years ago, there was more parking spots that were allocated than there were more parking vouchers out there than there were parking spots for those individuals. Since then, we've cleaned that up. We've also have an agreement with McFarland to leave their nested gate area open, which has helped free up some spots there. But these additional 4 spots would be appreciated, and it would help us to market that space and hopefully have a full building in another 1 to 2 years.
All right, pretty straightforward. Any questions or concerns? All right. The planning department staff, so they are concerned a little bit. So in 2022, the planning commission approved the addition of 9 parking spaces to the lot immediately south of the proposed new location. And that approval was subject to the planting of the trees around the perimeter of the parking lot. And they note that the trees have not been planted.
Gotcha.
So is there a plan to put in those trees that was part of that conditional approval the last time you were here?
We are still planning to plant the trees. There's just been so many different things with the building that we've dealt with. We had the building next door, there was a window that broke and it caused extensive damage to our roof, brand new roof we had put on. That's, we got that settled. And the other thing that we're dealing with is with the Metro Center, we have throughout the entire building, there's heat pumps throughout the building, probably 50 to 55 heat pumps. The price to replace each of these heat pumps used to range from $5,000 to $6,000 a heat pump. It's now up around $10,000 a heat pump. And I think we've replaced already maybe 3 or 4 this year alone. We've have added, Ed Elements is now a tenant in our building. And they went with a really nice space. That was a pretty large investment, to fit out each of these spaces. Tenants are constantly adding or subtracting spaces. One of our other tenants is talking about, making their space smaller. So it is our plan, and we feel that we've done a good job with making the building better than we found it, and we want to continue to do that. We're constantly picking up garbage. We're constantly, we remulched it this year. We remulch it every year. We have a person there at least once or twice a week to, well, actually daily to pick up garbage, but then from our landscaping team where we have 4 people, go through, pull any weeds. You rarely see any weeds in any of our mulch beds because we take that really seriously in cigarette butts and cans and bottles. So trees will occur. If you can work with us through the next year or two, we do plan to do that. We're gonna, go with some ginkgo trees, which would go good, in an urban type environment. And we do plan to do it.
Okay. Everyone okay with that answer?
Justin, just because this has been a question that's brought up by the planning department staff, would you be willing to commit to planting these trees during the spring of 2026?
Could we take it through the end of the summer? Only because it's difficult. We were also down manpower. It's really been actually more of a struggle with manpower. We have hired 2 to 3 more people to our team, but we're struggling with having people to do different projects. But if we complete it before the end of the planning season next year, would that be acceptable, or?
How do the others here feel about that?
Yeah,
I just look at it like, I'm fine with that. I guess I want to have like a firm, like, yeah, there will be trees planted by X dates, not just since these are lagging from the previous approval. So I'd be happy with by the end of the planning season 2026. I would be content with that.
October 2026.
Sure.
That's fair enough.
yeah, I'd say especially to complement all the updates in infrastructure and streetscape updates that have been going on the last 2 years down there too. It's kind of the last piece of the puzzle.
All right. That sounds good.
Specific requirements in here that are outlined. Have you seen the staff comments on the tree situation? Staff's recommending 8 trees be planted along State Street, 4 trees in the buffer along Henry Street. Have you seen that?
You're refreshing my memory with everything else going on. I am aware of that, but it would be nice to, if possibly Tito could share that with us
Yeah.
again. That'd be appreciated.
These are the same requirements from last time, so I can send it out.
Okay. All right, this sounds good. So that's that'll be probably a conditional approval at the next meeting. So, but just to hear that you're amenable to it, that helps move this forward into the next phase. So, all right, any other comments, concerns? Pretty straightforward for parking plan.
Would we need a updated site plan showing the trees, or would it be? I'm guessing you could probably utilize the one from years ago that hadn't been completed yet, right? With the new date.
The last one didn't show the trees. So
Oh.
that condition was put on.
Okay.
So, yeah, probably.
But yeah, I think a revised plan would be ideal.
Okay. Is that all right? to Just do a revised plan that just shows where you'll plant those trees?
Sure, sure.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right, so based on the information submitted, it looks like the proposal is an unlisted action under seeker and that the planning commission will be the lead agency for seeker review. So I'll make a motion for that. Second by Kyle, all in favor? All right, so 6 in favor, 0 opposed. And I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for the project at 5:30 at the December meeting. Second by Kyle, all in favor? All right, 6 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you
All right.
very much.
See if I can,
What's the date of the December meeting again?
December 2nd.
December 2nd. Okay, thank you.
All right, that leads us to our last seeker determination tonight. The applicant is 44 Whitney Ave LLC. The project address is 44 Whitney Ave. And this is a site plan review to construct a 2,500 square foot garage associated with an existing industrial business in the I-3 heavy industrial district. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Nick Dorenzo, with 44 Whitney Ave LLC.
All right, what are you planning to do?
So we currently have a garage on our property that we're looking to demolish. It's in really rough shape and we're looking to build a new one a little bit bigger.
All right. Pretty straightforward.
Pretty simple.
All right.
Same type of materials. We have a block garage. We're looking to build a new block. Just, better looking, obviously brand new.
Okay. All right. Do you have any plans that show what the garage is actually going to look like?
No, we don't have any plans.
Okay.
I didn't know we needed them, but.
Okay. Are you guys, I assume you're a construction company, so you're probably just building this yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, most of it, I guess. But
Okay,
we'll probably subcontract a few things out.
okay. For a garage, do you have to get building permits? Okay. So is anybody helping you with the building permit process?
From not yet, I was working with Tito. As far as I understood, this was the first step
Okay.
and we're gonna submit plans when we applied for the permit.
I got you. The only reason I'm asking is that the plan that we have is a sticky note on a parcel map.
Right.
It's just a pink.
That was just a to scale piece
Yeah.
of paper that showed the size of the new garage.
Yeah. It doesn't show us much of what we're approving it.
Okay.
So it's just hard
Details
to
like
tell.
the height of the building and where there might be windows and doors and the roof line and how it may impact the neighboring, if there's gonna cause a lot of extra shade on somebody else's property.
Yeah, we can submit better plans. That's no problem.
Okay. That'd be good between now and the next meeting, just so we have a better idea of what we're approving or what.
Yeah, and the next meeting is December 5th.
It'll be December 2nd.
Okay.
All right.
We would need it a week before that to circulate it. And you're just asking for some kind of rendering or an elevation showing the building. You don't need a revised site plan.
Well, it is difficult to tell what's happening on the site as well.
We can submit a site plan. That's
Okay.
it's not a big deal.
All right. Is everyone in agreement that that's kind of what we need?
Yeah.
There's a checklist in the application for a planning board review.
Mhm.
If you can make a site plan that follows that checklist, it's got
Yeah.
all the basics.
Yeah, we're just looking to build a very simple
Yeah.
storage garage, that's all.
Yeah. And we don't want to give you a hard time.
Yeah.
We're not sure what we're approving right now, so.
Okay.
All right, so on the sticky note, it does show what looks like to be a garage door. The garage door looks like it's just right in line with the curb cut out front.
Yeah,
So just
so
straight
we
back.
own the neighboring property as well. So we have a construction company there and it's pretty much just a, a storage garage to park, for storage for our business, for equipment and things like that.
Okay. And do you have any reason to think any of the neighbors are gonna complain about what you're planning to do, or have you already talked with the neighbors about?
Well, we own the neighboring house as a rental property and our tenants don't mind and, the other house next door is coming up in the next auction and we're planning to purchase that and demolish it.
Okay. And how about Richard Landis and Michelle Landis?
From, I think they're the house behind us.
Yeah.
From my understanding, I didn't talk to them about it. I think they sold their house though.
Oh,
Yeah.
to
From
you guys or?
No, someone that out of town investor, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, we pretty much own every other property neighboring that property.
Okay. All right,
We own almost half the block.
okay. Chris,
Yeah, one question. This actually is directed to Tito. On the staff report, there's a comment. The proposal requires an area variance. Can you educate both us and the applicant what that's all about?
Yeah, he needs an area variance for the setback. It's too close to the rear property line.
You go to the ZBA for that?
Yep, they're on the agenda for.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you know about that
Yeah,
process.
yeah. Yes, our current garage is pretty much the same distance from the property line as the proposed one.
and that existing garage looks like it's in pretty bad shape.
It's in very rough shape, yeah.
So
We've
this-
been-
It's an improvement.
This is a major improvement for our
Alright.
business and everything, yeah.
All right. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, then I'll make a motion that the proposal involves the construction of a non-residential building less than 4,000 square feet, which is an unlisted action under seeker, and that the planning commission will be lead agency for the review. Second by Kyle again. All in favor? 6 in favor, 0 opposed. All right, and I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for the project at 5:35 at our December meeting. Second by Chris, all in favor? 6 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, so just, I have the site plan for the next meeting.
Yeah, so submit the site plan and drawings that'll show, in some fashion, will show what you're planning to build.
Okay,
Submit that to Tito a week before that next meeting.
okay,
All right,
sounds good.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that concludes seeker determinations, and now we're on to public hearings and final deliberations. In this portion of our meeting, we'll be holding open public hearings to obtain public opinion in regard to specific projects that are up for review. Applicants will be asked to come to the microphone and make a brief presentation describing their project. For most projects, this is the second time we were reviewing your information, so it would be helpful if you could please give us a brief overview of the project to remind us what you're planning, and then clearly identify any changes that have been made since the last time we saw you. When the applicant is done presenting and any clarifications have been reviewed, we will open the public hearing and allow members of the community to speak about the applicant's proposal. After the commission has heard from all community members interested in speaking tonight, the public hearing will be closed and the commission will deliberate. To our applicants, when your project name is called, please come to the microphone and start off by giving the name and address of any member of the applicant's team that's planning to speak. And to anyone from the community that will be speaking in regard to a project tonight, please also start off by stating your name and address for our records. All right, so tonight, our first public hearing is for the applicant Bromberg. Project address is 250 Shenango Street. And this is a site plan review and special use permit for the conversion of the upper stories of an existing mixed-use building into 3 dwelling units with 7 bedrooms, resulting in a total of 8 dwelling units in the C6 Limited Neighborhood Commercial District. Did anything change from the last meeting?
Tentative, very, very little, but we updated the landscape plan and the garbage.
Okay, I think we might need,
And it's at a meeting.
Salin posted it in the messages today.
oh, it posted it today.
Yeah.
Oh, so everybody should have it electronically then. All right.
I'm Bram Berg on behalf of OVL Owego, the owner, looking for approval to convert the upper floor at 248, 250 Chenango Street in Binghamton, New York. The current, oh, yeah. I have a couple extras. Yeah, I have a couple extras. These are the, maybe this can be passed around. Sorry. This is the photos. And then I didn't realize it didn't print out. Everybody, they can just take one copy each. here. Thank you. Sorry. So just to continue was we're looking to convert the upper floor, which is currently vacant use, into 3 apartments, a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom, and a studio. The site is a very odd site. It's on Chenango Street, but the parking is off of Doubleday through an easement, a deeded easement, which we don't have any access to. We've provided a landscaping plan that provides the allocated green space setback, as well as 4 parking spaces, a patio, and a new collection trash bin. And we are looking for a special exemption for parking, given that we are providing workforce housing for lower to middle income tenants. And should you have any questions, I'm here for them. But just to clarify, is the property currently has apartments and commercial below, and the current use is vacant. So we're trying to add apartments, as is the intention of the city to add more units, and this would be a perfect location for that.
All right. All right, anybody have questions or comments before we do the public hearing? Tim?
So the updated plan have as the original, where it's the 4 parking spaces. So which one are we going with here?
Good question. Yeah, I think the plans that were just handed out are the old plans, right?
These should be the new plans.
So
We only have space for 4 parking spaces, but yeah,
what I'm saying, where you're seeing the 5 parking spaces, no landscape.
It shows 5 parking spaces. I'm not sure which.
oh, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure which version this is, but I got a version that shows 5 parking spaces.
With no landscape buffer and no patio.
That's in the submitted plans? The ones I have right in front of me show buffer and 4 parking spaces. We tried to fit a 5th parking space per the conversation last week, but with the patio being included and the setback, we could only get 4.
So I think the plan that we have that was submitted electronically doesn't show the patio in the back anymore, and it shows 5 parking spaces.
Oh. I don't know. The one I sent was is the one right here. It's 4 with the patio and a setback, landscape setback.
All right, so would you like us to review or base our review on the one that we have paper copies of tonight then?
If you don't mind, and I can make sure you have a digital copy, but basically,
Okay.
right here, there's 4, the patio in the order of sequence is, there's the staircase, the patio, 4 parking spaces, and then the landscape setback, which we've labeled with trees. We did try to add an additional parking space, but it's not like it didn't fit.
Tito? can I make a request going forward to maybe eliminate these kinds of confusions?
Sure.
Could we request that any plans that are submitted be like dated? Like this is the October 1st plan versus the November 1st plan. So if we got
Yeah.
3 versions in Basecamp, we can figure out which is the most recently dated plan.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly from last month's meeting, the parking issue, there are people that did have issues with that. How many, where's the? Sorry, how many, what's the required parking spaces for this building?
I think Tito's checking.
Yep,
I'll tell you in a sec.
just wanted to make sure it was on the microphone.
8 parking spaces.
Okay,
So they'd be asking for, they were originally asking for 4 parking spaces, so a waiver of 50%.
okay. So I guess the question, understanding that we're reviewing this with the buffer and the patio, is where we don't know necessarily where that other, the 5th parking space site plans came from. That's just not there at all.
Well,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
I'd kind of avoid that at all.
I don't
Because
know.
that
though,
would
'cause
honestly
that-
sway a decision there.
Yeah, that 5th parking spot, this might be a conversation for the applicant to weigh in on.
Sir, do you want to answer the?
I think it's the same as before. So the question is 4 versus 5.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the bigger question is that at the last meeting, there was quite a bit of back and forth asking, as the compromise, everyone was okay if you had a plan that showed 5 parking spaces. There was some concern of a plan that only had 4 parking spaces, but everyone kind of agreed. And you indicated that you would try and make it work.
Yeah, we try to make it work. We could add like a temporary parking space over the patio, but outside of that, there would be no other location. And right at that part of the patio where you would put a car there's the drain for the site. So it doesn't really lend itself to being a permanent parking spot. So that's why the plan is just as 4.
Okay,
I think there was a discussion, the other last meeting was maybe allowing for a parking space to be in the setback area, and I believe Tito said that wouldn't be allowed because according to our lot, we are required for the 5-foot setback, so there really isn't a spot for a fixed permanent parking spot, but there are spots for flex spots, but that couldn't really be put on a plan.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so then from the last meeting to now, you did look at getting 5. You can't. With
We
the plan
can
have-
do 5 at different angles and different things, but it's not really like a legal parking spot that can be
Gotcha.
written in like drawn up and permanently allocated.
Gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
so the plan that we are looking at has 4 parking spaces. And
Yeah.
that's what we should base our review on. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That's excellent clarification. All right, any questions or comments before we do the public hearing? Just to see if anyone's here to speak about the project. All right, so seeing no other questions or comments, so we'll open the public hearing, just see if anybody's here to speak about the project. So this is the public hearing for the applicant Bromberg. Project address is 250 Shenango Street. So this is a site plan review and special use permit for the conversion of the upper stories of an existing mixed-use building into 3 dwelling units with 7 bedrooms, resulting in a total of 8 dwelling units in the C6 Limited Neighborhood Commercial District. If there's anybody who would like to speak about the project, please come to the microphone. And did we get any letters about this project? All right, no letters received. And clearly nobody approaching the microphone for this project, so we will close the public hearing. All right. Anybody concerned that the plan only shows 4 parking spaces? Oh, Yeah. Chris,
Yeah, yes, I'm still concerned.
I agree.
okay. So we got two concerns. Oh, Kyle,
For me, for an existing site that has vacant space and to have additional living space, that would override the parking concern for me, I think.
okay,
So
all right.
I would be for it.
Oh, no, I thought you were gonna say something.
Was the commission requesting last time that the patio space be replaced with a parking space? Is that what the discussion was?
Believe so.
It was one of the ideas that was tossed around, yes.
And you're saying that that's not feasible?
I don't remember it being a full-on directive, but there's a, right at the very edge of this patio is a drain. So to really like level the site and make it like a nice space for the whole tenants to use, that whole space needs to be pavers. It's like a overall nicer amenity for the building. I thought that was what was appreciated about the plan. But if you want us to just remove the patio, I guess we could probably add one more parking spot, then there would be really no nice outdoor space for the tenants.
So, I mean, that's up to the planning commission, what the priority is. There's also, if you don't think that your tenants are gonna actually use all the spaces.
We only have one tenant right now in the building who has a car, and everybody else is like again, lower to middle income. So we're kind of like addressing the missing middle, a tenancy base that rides the bus or just walks to work downtown. Where there's really nobody here that needs a car, but obviously that might change. So the 4 spots with one tenant already needing space, there's 3 spots remaining. Yeah.
Pavers are an acceptable material for a parking area, so it could double as both. They could show one more striped space on that patio surface, and it may not get used, but it'd be available. But it's just.
All right. That kind of sounds okay to me if you've got the ability to park there, if you ever needed it in the future, but for now it's left as a patio space. That's okay for me. So for this project, what in terms of votes, they just need a majority? He just needs a majority? Okay. Chris,
One last question, because if we discussed this at the last meeting, I guess I apologize for forgetting. What does the applicant need to do as far as we'll call it paving material? Because visually right now it looks like it's just like some crushed stone. Does he need to do something new or different for?
This was changed for asphalt because we were doing we were gonna do asphalt millings at the last meeting, but we were told it was just asphalt, and then the pavers are like brick,
Okay.
like brick pavers.
Both of those are acceptable for parking. Gravel and millings are not.
Okay.
all right. If everyone's okay with it, I'll just make a motion and we'll see where it falls for a vote. Is that okay? All right. All right, so at the last meeting, we determined that this was a type 2 action under seeker because it involved the reuse of an existing building, so no further environmental review was required. So I'll make a motion that the requirements for site plan review and special use permit have been met based on the paper copies of the drawings that we got today that show the 4 parking spaces with the potential to park somebody on the patio space if it was ever needed in the future. Yeah, so I'll make that motion. Second by Kyle, all in favor? All right, that's 4 in favor, all opposed. All right, 4 in favor, 2 opposed, so that will pass. And then I'll make a motion. for a 50% reduction in required parking. Second by Kyle, all in favor? All right, that's 4 in favor, all opposed, and 2 opposed. All right, so that passes as well. All right,
Thank you. So what are the next steps? Do I add a potential parking, like a dotted, how do I handle the additional parking?
I think they approved it as is.
Okay,
The alternative would have been to just show one more striped space
okay,
onto that brick area.
okay.
But you don't need to do that because you pass with the existing site plan.
Okay, so now do you guys submit, send the approval and then do I send it to the permitting?
We'll draft an approval letter
Yeah,
and we'll send it to you within 5 days and we send a copy to the building department.
thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. All right, that leads us to our last public hearing for tonight. This is for the applicant Brian Doak. The project address is 333 Prospect Street. And this is a site plan review to establish a vehicle fueling station for electric vehicles in the C4 Neighborhood Commercial District and R2 1 and 2 unit dwelling district. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for considering our proposal. Just to bring everybody, sorry, my name is Brian Doak from Owego, New York. I'm representing the client KSJD, the Sings.
Yeah, my name's Chris Granger from Eastern Energy Solutions. We're the contractor that's going to be implementing the electric vehicle stations for the project.
Okay.
Excuse me? Closer. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, could you give your name one more time just for the?
Chris Granger with a K. Eastern Energy Solutions.
Okay. All right. So what are we doing this time?
Well, just to bring everybody up to speed, as though you need to be brought up to speed, is several months ago, we presented a gas station at 333 Prospect Street, and it was rejected by the board. And the client has reconsidered and is considering now and putting before you the request to put in an electric vehicle charging station in the same location. Based on the input from the last meeting, the traffic control will be from Tracy Creek to Glenwood through the site. And that was an important thing from before. The charging station will be on the residential part of the property. There's 2 parcels, if you remember. The left parcel, I forget the number, but it's considered R3 residential. And the right parcel, if you look north, right and left, where the existing variety store is neighborhood commercial, I believe. So we need a zoning variance, and that's part of the application. And in addition to that, we've assumed that it'll work together, and we have laid out the station in the most optimal way we can to provide 4 charging stations. There are actually 2 standards, but they have 2 charging stations on each standard. So the parking required based on the code is 2 parking spots per charge. So we've provided 8 parking spaces. 6 are shown. That was my mistake. I should have shown 8. 7 are shown. I should have shown 8, but 7 is shown, with one of them being the handicap accessible parking spot. Other than that, there are no major changes to the site that you have not previously seen. The drainage and the parking area will all remain the same. The layout is shifted. Instead of being on the right-hand parcel where we have the gas stations on the commercial, the convenience store side, they're now over into the far left, and that really helps accommodate traffic flow through the site for the 15 or so minutes that a vehicle will be charging. They'll be able to get coffee inside the store. Did I miss anything? Is there, I don't know.
No, I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
All right, so these are level 3 chargers,
Yes, yep,
level 3. All right, so quick charge.
yes.
All right. All right, any questions, comments?
Since you mentioned the chargers, I know one of the letters that came in was asking about the power draw. So if you could talk a little bit about what the power draw looks like and if it would affect any nearby
Yeah,
residences.
there's two 180 kW chargers. So I believe we're looking for a 600 amp 40-volt service there that will power them.
Okay.
So, there'll be a maximum of, 360 kW. But that would have to be 4 cars charging that at full
And
full
that's
capacity, which is not likely to happen, but
for equivalency, that's like probably about 3 or 4 house services, right? If you had 150 or 200 amp service at a residence.
it's a little bit more than that, I think, but
Okay.
but around that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Again, just to help address one of the concerns that came in. Thank you.
Yep.
Chris, yep.
Yeah, I have a question or a concern. So I'm looking at the site plan and let's see if I can pull up the correct page on the site plan so we can all look at it. Page 2 of the site plan. So as we're looking at towards the exits that's onto Glenwood Road, if I'm looking at this map correctly. There's in the sidewalk, a trapezoid labeled number 22. First, what is that trapezoid labeled 22? That's the curb cut. So I guess my concern is the angle of the curb cut and that is at the 8th parking spot, if I'm depending on how we're counting the spots, the yellow box. Can somebody get out of that curb cut without taking out half the trunk of the car that's parked there? Okay, I mean, at least on this, that looks like a very tough angle to make
I
based on
can
the drawing.
explain that. The spots shown are 9 by 20. I believe that's the standard size for the parking spots. I don't have it written in my memory now. It's a standard shot. Park in that spot probably be most likely the owner. And they have a car that's they're like maybe 14 feet long. Okay, so there's 6 feet in front of the vehicle that can be made. That's the way it works now.
So you're using the existing curb cut then? That's there.
That's correct.
Our recommendation in the staff report was the removal of that space, because it has the potential to obstruct the curb cut. And can't be really accessed in a compliant way.
That can be easily removed.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping, I guess, the owner from parking there briefly. But I think it would be obstructing that curb cut.
I neglected to mention, I had forgotten to count that space in the total of 8 required. So I added an additional space up on the north side of the property to the right of the existing parking shown there, to the right of the chargers.
Brian, the label, sorry, the dimension on the area behind those parking spaces, you've got 12 foot between the back of the parking space and the face of the building.
Yes.
So I leave this to you. Normally, in order to back out of a parking space, a 90-degree parking space, you would need 24 foot. 22 is arguable, would be okay. Are you worried at all that you're going to have a parking space that people are going to back into the building often if they park there?
Well, my answer is no.
Okay.
And I made it work. The lane that's shown is a 12-foot lane there, 12 plus. But we are gonna put bollards at the corners of the building to protect it. And it would have been difficult to, in that one or two spots there on the right side, to add a 24-foot turning space or 22 feet to back out of.
Yeah. So Tito, is that a code requirement that you have to have a big enough aisle behind your spot, or it's not codified?
Because it's one way, I believe 12 feet complies. The other thing is that, these are 9 by 20, our code only requires 9 by 18, so you could get an additional 2 feet that way.
Sorry, I misspoke. They're 9 by 18 because
Okay.
I wanted to fit everything I could in here without going beyond. So they're 9 by 18.
So a few things. I remember the original site plan, you guys were, when we were still on the gas station, you were gonna be cutting back into the building. Is that still the plans here?
Still, to cut into the building, and you show on the last sheet of the plans, I show the outline of the existing building with a new building front step back about 6
Okay.
feet.
6 feet. And then also the other question to you guys is there a reason why this went right from without any secret determination to public hearing?
Yeah, because it was reviewed so extensively, relatively recently, we gave you all the option to go directly to public hearing. If you think there's more discussion is needed, you always have the right to table it.
Okay.
But just because there was not a substantial difference to what was reviewed before, other than the removal of the gas aspect, and a lot of the circulation issues were solved because of that, the removal of that gas canopy.
Right. Thank you for just put it there.
And as a follow-up to that, I'm guessing since we did get some feedback letters that it was posted and everything for others knew about it.
Yeah, there was a legal notice, that was sent out, and then there'll be a second public hearing for the use variance part of it.
Okay. Thanks. I guess on the one-way nature of it, was there any plan to have any entrance and exit or do not enter signage added?
Correct. That is shown on plan sheet
Okay.
3, I think, or 4.
There it is. I see it. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, concerns? I guess the last thing I'm curious about, the lights. So currently, is that existing sign, is that lit up? The Easy Food Mart sign, is that lit up? It's not even there right now? Okay. I'm asking about the, now you've got a canopy that's lit up potentially till midnight every night, right? Over top of those charging stations?
Potentially, but
Okay.
I think I do show the photometrics.
Yes. So
on-
that the cutoff for your photometrics, it is at the property line, basically?
Well, I have a black and white copy, or you should be able to see the color copy on the PDF, and the footprint of the photometrics is primarily very small compared to what it could be. And I haven't found, Tito, any photometric requirements at the property line, but it appears to me like if you had 0, we're down at 0.1 foot candles at the border, and that's practically ambient light from the streets.
All right, so no public nuisance to the neighbors with the new canopy, basically. All your light is angled down, no spillage, just every extent practical. Okay. All right. Okay.
One more. I know in past proposals, there had been concern about truck traffic, but I would assume with this arrangement, there would be no need for the large truck deliveries because it's electric charging. Just wanted to confirm if that's your understanding as well, because before we had the fuel trucks and now we don't, is my.
There'll be no fuel trucks, of course, but there will be, as there is now, the regular deliveries to the store.
Right.
That
So
won't change.
it'd be the same types of deliveries that's already occurring. Again, just getting that into the record and making sure. Thank you.
All right. And is the store is currently open the same hours that it's listed on the application going forward? Okay, no change there. All right. All right, so this is a public hearing, so let's not forget to do that. All right, so let's open the public hearing for the applicant Brian Doak. Project address is 333 Prospect Street. This is a site plan review to establish a vehicle fueling station for electric vehicles in the C4 Neighborhood Commercial District and R2 1 and 2 Unit Dwelling District. If there's anybody that would like to speak about the project, please come to the microphone. And I will note that we received one letter in opposition to the project, and it was short, so I'm just going to read it real quick. Hi, I live around the corner at 113 Glenwood Ave, and I am not in favor of this proposal. The corner of Glenwood and Prospect is a very busy intersection with bad sight lines. The added traffic would make the traffic flow even worse. Many accidents have occurred over the 30+ years I've lived here. There are times when I have to wait several minutes to back out of my driveway because of the traffic. How would the added strain on the neighborhood's power lines affect us? Are they putting in new power lines to accommodate the added load? We are one of the few lucky neighborhoods that seldom experience power loss. Thank you, Michael J. Steflik, 113 Glenwood Ave. All right, and I don't think we received any other letters. That was the only letter that we received. All right, seeing no one approaching the microphone, we'll close the public hearing. Any last minute comments, concerns, questions?
I mean, my big concern still is there's just trying to put too much into this very small lot. That, well, it's not as, yeah, it's not as big or as too much as when we were looking at the gas pumps. I still have concerns that there's just too much on this small lot. That's all.
Okay. All right, anybody else?
I'm sorry, we might have reviewed this in the past, but how many parking spaces are there currently on that property? Do we know that?
I don't recall.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, let's do this. I'll make some motions and we'll see where this goes. All right, so I'll make a motion that the proposal involves the establishment of a vehicle fueling station for electric vehicles, which is an unlisted action under seeker. So that the planning board should be, or planning commission should be the lead agency for seeker review. Second by Kyle, all in favor? All right, so that's 6 in favor, 0 opposed. And then I'll go right into a motion for a negative declaration for seeker review based on the following items. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? No or small impact. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No or small impact. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No or small impact. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkways? No or small impact. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Small impact. Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies or public or private wastewater treatment utilities? No or small impact. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? No or small impact. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No or small impact. And will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No or small impact. So based on all those items, I'll make a motion for a negative declaration for seeker review. Is there a second? Second by Kyle. All in favor? 1, 2, 3. Mario, were you up? 4. All right. So 5 in favor, all opposed. All right. So 5 in favor, 1 opposed. And then, so seeker review passes. And then I'll make a motion that the requirements for site plan review have been met. All right. Second by Tim. All in favor? All right. 5 in favor, all opposed, and 1 opposed. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, that concludes everything. Anybody have any other business that they would like to speak about?
Can do adjourn.
We have one question. There's a business that opened on Clinton Street, just as you come under the bridge from Front Street. Their dumpster is on the sidewalk. Yeah, it looks like it might be temporary, but it's really on the sidewalk. I'm just curious if,
Is that like the Caribbean store?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'll
Um,
take a look.
I just happened to be walking by as a few people were walking in the street to get around the dumpster, which had been placed right on the sidewalk on Clinton Street. So, all right. All right. Tim. Oh, motion to adjourn. All right. Second by Chris. All in favor? Oh, Mario agreed this time.
It actually says they don't agree.
Oh. All right, so that's 6 in favor, 0 opposed. All right, thank you.